The war on motorists continues with an extra 1.1 million parking fines issued in the last year by London councils. That's an increase of 13.5%, and over the last 5 years, it's a staggering increase of 53%. So in this video, we're going to discuss the most effective ways to legally dispute parking fines. Let's dive into it. Hello, my name's Ryan, I'm the Code Legal lawyer and I give a legal view on the latest news. Don't forget to check out our website, codelegal.co.uk, if you're seeking formal legal advice. Now today I'm doing a video about parking fines issued by councils, but I am going to be doing a separate video in the near future about parking fines issued by private companies, so stay tuned for that. Now the general rules for parking fines are found in two regulations, which I'm going to refer to as the Charging Guidelines Regulations and the Appeals Regulations. Firstly, the PCN has to be affixed to your vehicle or handed to you personally, or where the offence is recorded by an approved device, it has to be sent within 28 days, otherwise it will be deemed invalid. That's Regulation 10 subsection 6 of the Charging Guidelines Regulations. There is an exception if the DVLA have delayed in providing driver details, in which case they've then got 6 months to send it. Now you have to check the wording of the PCN thoroughly to make sure it contains certain information. This is things like the vehicle registration number, the time and date of the incident, the time and date of service, the amount to be paid, etc. This is all contained in Schedule 2 of the Charging Guidelines Regulations and Regulation 3 of the Appeals Regulations. Now you can read that in your own time, but if any of that information is missing, then the PCN will be deemed invalid. Now one of the strongest grounds in challenging a PCN is going to be whether the signs were compliant with the traffic sign regulations. So this would include things like missing or obscured signs, incorrectly placed signs, worn missing or non-compliant bay markings, conflicting signs, temporary signs not authorised or placed correctly. As a good rule of thumb, the test is whether the sign misled or could have misled a reasonably diligent motorist, and that was found in R. Heron and Parking Appeals Limited against Parking Adjudicator 2011. Now given the state of disrepair on our roads, this is probably the ground with the most potential. Also consider statutory exemptions. This would be things like loading and unloading of goods, especially if they're heavy or there's multiple items and nowhere nearby to park. Blue badge holders would be exempt. Dropping off and picking up passengers, especially if they're elderly or children, would be exempt. And if your vehicle's broken down, that would also be an exemption, so long as you can prove it. Don't forget that you've also got a 10-minute grace period beyond the allotted time if you're parked in a designated or permitted parking bay. That's Regulation 5 subsection 2 of the Charging Guidelines Regulations. And finally, look to see if there's any mitigation that the council may choose to take into account at their discretion. That would be something like a medical emergency, or where you actually paid but you entered the wrong vehicle registration. So to summarise, PCNs are a real nuisance and the councils are just issuing more and more of these. So we have to be careful with how we're driving and where we're parking. But we also have to scrutinise the validity of these notices as well. So we're going to be checking that it was served in time, we're going to be checking the wording, we're going to be looking to make sure the signs are compliant, and we're going to see if there's any exemptions or mitigation that can be applied. As I said earlier, I'm going to be doing another video on parking fines issued by private companies, but if you do require any advice, send me a message on here or through our website. As always, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching.